my fiancée, cheated on me at her bachelorette party while I was planning our honeymoon, so I ghosted her and exposed everything to her family. I'm a 29-year-old guy, and I was engaged to the woman I thought I'd spend forever with. Her name was Lila, and for 3 years she was my everything, my peace, my home, my reason to believe in forever. I was the kind of fiancé people joked made them look bad. I cooked on Sundays. I sent her flowers for no reason. And when we got engaged, I went all in. I spent nights scrolling through flight deals, hotel reviews, honeymoon blogs, planning a 2-week escape to Bali that would kick off our new life together. I didn't just book rooms. I booked private villas with plunge pools, sunset cruise dinners, massages, and even a surprise cooking class because she once said she wanted to learn Balinese spice blends. I drained half my savings. I worked extra shifts. I skipped weekends out with friends to make it all happen. And I didn't regret a second of it. I even put together gift boxes for her bridesmaids, each one with handwritten notes, custom robes, and little charms that matched Lila's engagement ring. It made her cry. She said I was too good to be true. I thought that meant she was lucky. But now, I wonder if it meant she knew she didn't deserve it. People always told me we were the perfect couple. We didn't fight. We laughed at the same dumb memes. She even got along with my mom. But there was one thing that bugged me, how she handled her bachelorette party. From the start, she was oddly territorial about it, said she and the girls wanted it to be just theirs. When I offered to help with logistics or contribute, she shut it down fast. "This one's just for us," she said, almost too quickly. At the time, I let it go. Now I wish I hadn't. The closer we got to the wedding, the more distant she became about that weekend. At first, it was subtle, just vague answers like, "We're thinking beachy vibes," or "It's all a surprise." I figured maybe her friends were planning something big. I didn't want to be the insecure fiancé who micromanaged. But the week before her trip, she got real weird about it. She told me, flat out, "No calls, no texts. I just want to unplug with my girls, you know? One last hurrah." I remember forcing a smile and nodding, but something about the way she said "one last hurrah" made my stomach twist. Like she wasn't talking about drinks and dancing. Like it was something else. Her best friend, Cassie, was leading the whole thing. Cassie never liked me. She once joked that Lila and I were too serious, and that I'd turned Lila into a housewife before the ring. Lila always brushed it off, said Cassie was just wild and didn't mean it. But I noticed how she rolled her eyes when I brought up honeymoon plans. How she laughed a little too loud when Lila told stories about my dad vibes. Cassie was poisoning glitter. Still, I trusted Lila, or maybe I just wanted to trust her. The day she left, she kissed me goodbye like everything was normal. Told me she loved me, told me not to miss her too much. I told her to have fun and take pictures, but she didn't, or barely did. I kept checking her Instagram, her tagged posts, her story updates. Nothing. Just a blurry boomerang of a cocktail glass and one group photo on the first night. After that, radio silence. I texted once just to say goodnight. She left it on red for 14 hours. When she came home, she acted like nothing happened. But everything felt off. And I couldn't shake the feeling that she'd left more than just her shoes at that hotel. When she walked through the door, it was like someone had flipped a switch. Lila was all smiles, laughter, arms around my neck like we were high schoolers again. She kissed me with more energy than she had in weeks. "God, I missed you," she said, tossing her suitcase down like it carried no weight at all. But her phone never left her hand. She took it with her to the bathroom, to the kitchen. Even when we watched movies on the couch, it stayed face down in her lap. I chalked it up to post-trip catch-up. Maybe she was sending photos to her friends, sharing inside jokes still. I noticed I told myself to stop being paranoid. She came back glowing. Initiating sex, laughing at my terrible jokes, telling me over and over again how excited she was to marry me. And I wanted to believe it, but that gut feeling, it's like a smoke alarm you try to unplug. It just keeps chirping. One night, maybe a week after she got back, I was lying awake while she dozed off beside me. Her phone buzzed, just once. Then again, 10 minutes later. She didn't stir, but I remembered something, her iPad. The one she always left on the coffee table. The one synced to her iMessages I shouldn't have checked. I know that, but I did. There wasn't much. Most of the messages were gone. But one partial thread caught my eye. A message from Cassie, time-stamped 2 days after the trip. I still can't believe that happened. I thought we agreed never to mention it again, Lila replied. We won't. He'll never know. My heart didn't race. It dropped. I stared at that screen for an hour, trying to breathe through the tightness in my chest. Because now I knew something happened. I just didn't know what, but I was going to find out. I barely slept that night. I kept replaying those messages over and over in my head, each time imagining something worse. A joke? An inside story? A drunken mistake? Or something bigger? Something unforgivable? The next morning, while Lila was in the shower, I opened her suitcase and found the hotel's branded towel still tucked into the corner. That's how I got the name of the place they stayed, the Solara Grand. A beachside resort 2 hours out of town. I called the front desk later that day, pretending to confirm a booking under Lila's name. Bachelorette weekend, I said. She said she added a few guests late. Mind confirming the names? The woman on the line was polite. Too polite. She said the room was under Cassie's name, but there was an additional guest listed, a male. Not part of the wedding party. She wouldn't give me a name, but that was enough. I wasn't thinking clearly when I drove there 2 days later. I just needed to see. I needed proof. I waited in the lobby for hours until I caught a younger guy working the night desk. I struck up a fake conversation, claimed I'd lost a necklace on the second floor during a previous stay, and asked if there was any way to check security footage. He hesitated. We can't share that, sir. So I slipped him a folded 50. He looked around, then said, give me 10 minutes. What he showed me next didn't need volume. I saw her, Lila, my Lila, in that same dress she posted in the one group photo. Her heels dangling from one hand. Hair messy. She was kissing a guy in the elevator. Not hugging, not tipsy flirting. Kissing. They stumbled into the hallway laughing. He pulled her close again, and they both walked into a room registered under neither her name nor Cassie's. I didn't blink. I didn't cry. I just stared at the screen, watching the version of her I never wanted to meet. I drove home in silence. No music, no thoughts even. Just silence, like my brain had shut down to keep me from unraveling on the freeway. She was already home when I got there. Sitting on the couch in one of my hoodies, flipping through wedding magazines like nothing was wrong. Like she hadn't detonated our entire future in a hotel hallway. She looked up and smiled. You okay? She asked, cocking her head like I was the one acting strange. I wanted to scream. Instead, I said, yeah, just tired. I played it cool for days after that. Numb, mechanical. She had no idea. But I was already slipping into detective mode. Her phone was locked down, but she'd forgotten to log out of her email on my old laptop. I started searching keywords like Solara, Cassie, Bach, and then one thread stood out. A flight confirmation. One she hadn't booked. One he had, a man named Rico Sandoval. Club promoter. Lives in Tampa. I searched his name and, boom. Instagram full of shirtless selfies, party pics, and, yes, a tagged story from the Solara Grand that same weekend. There was even a blurry group photo that showed her, arm wrapped behind her back, pressed against him in the background. This wasn't some one-night accident. This was premeditated. I scrolled further and found old DMs between them dating back 6 months, flirty, suggestive, dangerous. She'd been talking to him while we were picking venues. While I was planning our honeymoon, I remember just sitting there staring at the screen, my hands shaking. Not from rage, from grief. She wasn't the person I thought she was. She'd been living 2 lives, and I was the one wearing the blindfold. I didn't confront her. Not yet, because if she could lie that easily, then I could lie too. From that moment on, everything changed. but only inside me. I still kissed her good morning, still held her hand when we walked through wedding venues, still pretended to argue over cake flavors like we were in some rom-com montage. But I wasn't there anymore. I was somewhere behind my own eyes, watching it all like a movie I'd already seen the ending to. She had no idea. I started undoing everything I'd worked so hard to build. Quietly, I logged into our honeymoon portal and cancelled every booking, flights, villas, activities. Every single thing I had once planned with love, I now deleted with precision. When the confirmation emails came in, I moved them to a hidden folder and deleted the originals. She never noticed. She never even checked. At night, while she slept beside me, I packed slowly, piece by piece. My favorite hoodie here. Passport tucked behind socks. Important papers slid into a backpack behind the closet door. No drama, no slamming drawers. Just quiet exits rehearsed like clockwork. And during the day I played the part. The doting fiancé, the man of her dreams. She told me I was acting a little distant, and I just smiled and kissed her forehead. "Just tired from work?" I said. "Don't worry. The last thing I did was back up every shred of evidence, screenshots of texts, hotel confirmation emails, Instagram tags, and security footage timestamps. I stored them on a thumb drive and locked it in a small case with a note taped on top. Then one Thursday morning, 3 weeks before the wedding, I woke up before sunrise. I made coffee. I left my phone on the nightstand. I took my bag and walked out the door. No note, no goodbye, just silence. Let her wonder, let her panic. Because I wasn't planning our future anymore. I was planning her reckoning. By noon that day, I was a ghost. I watched from a burner phone as the missed calls rolled in. First 1, then 5, then 20. Her text started casual, then desperate, then furious. "Where are you? Are you okay? This isn't funny. What the hell is going on?" Then came the calls from her mom, her sister. Even Cassie tried reaching out, her tone somehow both anxious and accusatory. I didn't answer any of them. My apartment? Half empty. I'd cleared the essentials and left behind the things that didn't matter. My old gaming console, some clothes, the framed photo of us from the engagement party. I left that one on the kitchen counter, face down. I pictured her walking in and seeing the emptiness. I pictured her calling out my name, hearing only her own voice echoing back. The wedding was 18 days away. She must have thought I got cold feet, or worse, that something happened to me. I know Lila well enough to know she spun a dozen stories in her head. I also know she checked the honeymoon website eventually. Nothing. No flights. No reservations. No villas. All gone. I know that because her next text read, "Did you cancel everything? Why? What are you doing?" That same day, her mum received an anonymous email. Then her dad. Then her brother. Each message came with a simple subject line. Ask her what really happened at her bachelorette party. Attached were screenshots, a Google Drive link, and a short message written in plain, emotionless words. "I won't be marrying Lila. I thought you deserved to know why. I didn't sign my name. I didn't need to." Because by then, she already knew exactly who sent it, and exactly why I vanished. I imagined her face when she opened it, that instant flicker of panic, like a match hitting gasoline, the tightness in her chest when she saw her father's name in the CC line, the dread crawling up her spine as she clicked each image, each message, each neatly organized folder. I didn't hold back. The email wasn't angry, it was clinical, like an autopsy of our relationship, laid out in bullet points and timestamps. Screenshots of texts with Rico, hotel guest records, still frames from security footage, each one more damning than the last. A quiet, thorough dismantling of every lie she told. I gave no commentary, just the facts. I let her actions speak for themselves. I heard through a mutual friend, Sarah, that her dad called her the minute he saw it, not to ask if it was real, but to ask how long it had been going on. Apparently, he was furious. Her mom sobbed through the phone. Her brother told her she was dead to him. Lila texted me that night. Please, we need to talk. You don't understand what happened. I made a mistake.
One mistake. Please don't destroy my family over this. I read them.
I didn't reply. Cassie posted some passive-aggressive nonsense on Instagram, some quote about loyalty being tested, but deleted it within hours. The next morning, I got a message from her aunt. It just said, "Thank you for telling us the truth. You deserve better, that one." That one hit, because in all of this chaos,
I wasn't angry anymore.
just hollow, tired, watching it all burn down from the safe distance I created, and knowing that every match she handed to me herself. For the next week, I stayed invisible. My burner phone stayed on silent, vibrating every few minutes with messages I didn't care to read. Some were from her, some from unknown numbers, probably friends or relatives trying to play peacekeeper.
I didn't open them.
I didn't need closure from anyone anymore. Sarah kept me updated, though I never asked her to. She said Lila was a wreck, crying constantly, skipping work, refusing to leave her apartment. Apparently, she tried to spin it to some friends as a mutual split due to stress. But by then, screenshots had already circulated through every group chat her family was in. The truth was out.
And it was ugly. Her dad pulled his funding from the wedding venue.
Her mom cancelled all the catering. The dress she'd spent months obsessing over, still hanging untouched at the boutique, never picked up. I heard her uncle confronted her directly. He'd helped pay for part of the ceremony. He demanded she return the money. When she refused, he threatened legal action, and Rico, the man she risked everything for, ghosted, unfollowed, blocked, like she didn't even exist. Her perfect little escape fantasy collapsed the moment real life stepped in. Cassie nuked her socials, either out of guilt or to dodge the blowback. Probably both. Meanwhile, I was tucked away in a quiet Airbnb on the coast, drinking cheap coffee and watching the waves crash against the rocks. It wasn't paradise, but it was peaceful. I still hadn't spoken to Lila, not once. Not even when she left a voicemail that ended with her sobbing, "Please."
I just want to explain, but there was nothing left I wanted explained because everything I needed to know.
She already showed me. It was a Thursday night when I got the message. It came from Sarah again, just one line and a screenshot. "You need to see this." The post was from a private burner account, but the caption was unmistakably about Lila. It read, "Guess karma hits hard when you're pregnant with the wrong guy's baby." I stared at it, frozen. My lungs forgot how to pull in air. Sarah confirmed it minutes later. She was pregnant for maybe 6 or 7 weeks. She hadn't told anyone yet, not even her family.
Only Cassie knew.
She was planning to go through with the wedding, then figure it out later. I felt sick, so it wasn't just a one-time drunken mistake. It was a full-blown affair, and now it had consequences. Apparently, after the email bomb dropped and I vanished, the stress overwhelmed her. She started getting dizzy, couldn't keep food down. Then she collapsed at her mom's place. A hospital visit confirmed she had miscarried, and suddenly the pity started pouring in, from some people at least. Her mum called it a tragic loss. Cassie posted a vague, melodramatic tribute about grief not erasing good intentions. They all tried to reframe it, recast her as a woman who made one mistake and paid the price, but I wasn't buying it. Because the baby wasn't mine. She had been pregnant at the engagement party. She was carrying another man's child while she kissed me goodnight and thanked me for planning our future. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a performance. A lie so deep it had muscle memory. She never planned to come clean. She planned to trap me in a marriage built on deception. I didn't feel relieved or vindicated. I just felt done, whatever version of her I loved. She died the moment she made that choice. There's something strange about grief when it's mixed with betrayal. It doesn't feel like sadness. It feels like frostbite.
Numb at first, then sharp when you try to move again.
I remember sitting in that dim Airbnb, staring out at the ocean, wondering what the hell I'd been holding on to.
Love, loyalty, a future that never existed.
All of it felt like a story someone else wrote, and I just read the ending too late, so I wrote her a letter. Not to send, not for closure, just to bleed it all out. I wrote about how I'd memorized the way her nose scrunched when she laughed, how I used to look at her and feel lucky, even on our worst days, how I pictured her pregnant with our child someday, rocking them to sleep in the nursery we'd paint together. I told her she didn't just cheat on me, she buried the version of me that believed in us, that believed in her. I reminded her of the night I proposed, how I was shaking so badly I dropped the ring box, how she laughed through her tears and said yes before I could even ask. And I told her something I hadn't said to anyone, not even Sarah. I would have forgiven a lot of things, but not this. Not the lies.
Not the pretending.
Not the way she looked me in the eye and planned a life that never included the truth. I folded the letter, sealed it, and held it over the stove flame until it curled into black and gold. Then I let the ashes drift out the window. I didn't need revenge, I needed release. And in that moment, I finally let her go. It's been 6 months. I've changed my number, moved to a new city, got a remote job that lets me work from anywhere with Wi-Fi and decent coffee. I travel now not to escape, but to breathe. Florence, Santorini, Lisbon, places I'd once saved for honeymoons, I now explore alone, and it's not lonely.
It's quiet.
The kind of quiet that doesn't demand anything from you. The kind that lets you put your heart back together at your own pace. I don't check her socials anymore. I stopped the week I saw her post some passive caption about growth over a black and white photo of the ocean. Same beach we were supposed to visit in Bali. I guess everyone's healing in their own way. Mine just didn't involve pretending sometimes. I catch myself staring at couples on park benches or weddings I pass by in European courtyards. For a second, I wonder if I'll ever trust like that again. If I'll ever look at someone and not flinch at the thought of betrayal hiding behind their smile. But then I remember, peace doesn't come from answers. It comes from acceptance, from knowing that I didn't lose her. She lost me.
And more than that,
she lost the version of me that would have done anything for her. That man is gone.
And in his place?
Someone sharper, quieter, stronger. I never picked up the wedding suit. It's still hanging in the closet of my old place, probably gathering dust. But I kept one thing from that life, a photograph of us taken before the fall.
Not to mourn it.
To remember it, because healing isn't pretending it didn't happen. It's looking it dead in the eye.
And walking forward anyway. And if you're reading this, if you've ever been broken like I was, just know peace is real.
And it's waiting for you too.